It's the Infectious Groove Podcast, part of the Odd Pods Media Network. Recorded from Detroit, Michigan, and Jacksonville, Florida. The Infectious Groove Podcast is your source for jammy jams, album reviews, and the best in-depth music discussion. Thanks for joining us. Now here are your hosts.
It's a Christmas blessing because not only are you listening to a brand new episode of the Infectious Groove Podcast, but you're listening to a brand new episode that features the return of Michelle.
Yay!
Yay! Would you like it, Michelle, if we celebrate every 2 weeks like you've never been on before?
I would appreciate that, yes.
Okay.
Will you make me a drop?
Yeah, like some sort of, like maybe trumpets and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. Announcing my presence.
Okay. That's exactly.
That's totally doable, right?
Yeah, no, it is doable. Am I gonna do it? Probably not, but it's doable. Yes.
Well, you have 2 weeks.
Thanks for the deadline. That extra laughter that you hear is normally laughing to himself while he listens to our show, but we have welcomed him on our program before. We have read a lot of feedback from this gentleman, and we are welcoming back onto the show Chris from the Dadnarok YouTube channel. What's going on, brother?
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm usually, when I'm listening to the show, I'm like almost live tweeting while I'm listening. It's almost an addiction. It's getting pretty bad at times. I think 1 week I was like, I promised last week.
Yeah. I actually have read a couple of those before where I'm like, Sean and Chris, because it's your handle, Sean and Chris. I'll be like, they said this, and then we'll all have a good laugh. And I'm like, and then they go on to say. So, needless to say, we definitely appreciate that feedback. I'm sure we always read it and have a good time with it. As a matter of fact, sometimes we have feedback where it triggers me having people call into the show, but we'll see if we have further info on that in a few minutes. But as I mentioned before, you are part of your own YouTube channel. And, as always, I always give people a little bit of time to talk about what they do over there. So if someone was to go to YouTube and search Dadnarok on YouTube, what would they find on your channel?
Really, they'll find me and my buddy Sean, one half, the team. And we basically do trailer reviews of most upcoming, like Star Wars projects, Marvel, you name it. But we do a live show every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, and we just call it the after show. And basically we talk about what the shows were that week that we're on. For instance, we just finished up doing Andor. We're doing a show on The Peripheral from Amazon, and then they just started the Willow on Disney Plus.
Right on.
So we just kind of talk about those, if we like them, if we don't like them, if we want to, little spoiler alert, I found Willow a little boring.
Yeah.
So we were going to talk about that this coming week and kind of go from there. But it's just kind of if we were sitting in the same room talking back and forth, enjoying it, and we figured you invite everyone into the room.
Yeah. And that's what we get a lot too. And I mean, this because you just said it about our show. Like, we get that a lot about our show where people are like, I've never talked back so much to a podcast as I do yours or whatever. And I like that. Like, what you do on your channel makes people feel like they're more included instead of like that movie snob feel, or like instead of like making people feel like you're better than them, you're like inviting people to be part of what you do on the channel, which I think is great.
We've got some weird messages. Like, we were watching a trailer and one guy said, "Wow, what a deadpan review." I was like, I responded back to it, I was like, "You're getting the real response. I'm not giving you the over the top just for the clicks.
Right.
You want a response. I'm going to give you kind of what I want." So I'm like, you know what? I figure I just respond to them all and, just give them love. And if they want to stick around, they'll stick around.
Yep. I could not agree with you more. And on a total sidebar, and I don't want to go too off the rails here, but people don't believe this, but it's true. Willow is one of those classic 80 movies that everybody is supposed to have seen, and I've just never seen.
Neither have I.
Oh,
Me and Sean are 82, so neither of us.
You're 82 years old. You look great.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, we're amazing. But neither of us seen it. So he decided he's going to go ahead and watch the movie. And I purposely avoided the movie, so we can kind of have one with the movie and one without it. So I'm kind of curious what his opinion is going to be with the movie compared to what my opinion is without the movie.
Right on. All right. Well, I mean, that all is engaging content. So if you are interested in what they have going on over there, or I would even say if you like what we do here with the inclusive idea, not just crapping on things just to crap, or not just to be sensational, just to be sensational, it sounds like that channel might be for you. As we go through our discussion here, if you like what Chris has to say on our show, by all means, go to YouTube and look for Dadnarok and subscribe to them, because you'll have the regular content and the live stream, which live stream is something I really want to get into on our channel, but I fear I won't have the same nice reactions you do. I feel like if someone says something sarcastic, I will lose my entire persona and just be like, yeah, well, don't watch then.
Well, a lot of the ones that we've gotten have been off the recorded side. If they're live comments, we have the ability to just ignore them. We won't even bring them up. Like if you put up a comment, like a lot of times if you're on there and you're watching our stuff and you throw a comment up, something we missed, we'll bring the comment up on the screen and read it and address it right there and then. But if it's something that's like, you know what, we just got to move on, we don't even address it.
Yeah, well, that's probably the best way to go about everything, is just ignore what you don't like and indulge in what you do. So go and check out the Dadnarok YouTube channel. As far as our show goes, Chris is joining us because we are going to talk through in the second half of the program what I think is an interesting topic, which is how has parenting changed the way that you listen to music. I have been a parent for coming up on 17 years now. Chris has also been a parent, and Michelle is the newest of the bunch to enter the parenting club, both step and her own child, Zoe. So she's got a couple of different perspectives to look at this from. So that should be a fun discussion. However, we did have a bunch of episodes recently that we received a bunch of feedback on. So let's get into it.
Feedback, Joe. Don't worry about that. Right. There's rock and roll me without feedback.
We do have a way to leave us a voicemail at the show, and that's at 313-364-9899. And sometimes I will go through the trouble of downloading the voicemails that we get, edit them, load them into the Roadcaster, and then never play them because I just get sidetracked and don't. So I'm going to kick off the feedback with the voicemail we received this week, and I definitely asked for this one.
Hello, this is Seth. I was summoned here today by Russ, and, you ask and you shall receive. Before I get into the main topic for this phone call, I just wanted to comment on a couple of last week's comments made by your co-host. I know that John from the Beard Owl podcast said that he almost chose an Air album for the album review. And I personally would have enjoyed that because they have like their OG hit Sexy Boy from 1998 album Moon Safari. And that's featured in several movies and films, so I feel like people would know who the band is. So, I'm basically what I'm trying to say is Team John. Secondly, moving on to Lauren's comment about the song No One's Gonna Love You, I need to revisit the CeeLo version. I didn't actually know he had covered it. I knew the Band of Horses original. So I'm excited to go check that out. Thank you for pointing me in that direction, Lauren. And finally, we've made it to this new hatred you are causing between the fans. First, you alienated Beyonce fans, and now apparently you're trying to alienate Miley Cyrus fans. I can't say that I'm a diehard Miley Cyrus fan like I am with Beyonce. However, I do really, really appreciate her covers. And what you did not mention, Russ, that I told you was that I liked Miley Cyrus's version of Jolene because it was a nice marrying of the versions done by Dolly Parton and Jack White. So that was my reason for that. And I really resent this hatred. I think that, even Dolly Parton says that Miley Cyrus is her goddaughter. So, I'm just saying, seal of approval from Dolly. That I don't understand how Russ's opinion can even matter at this point. So you are also an old. So I don't know. Those are my counters to your comments about Dolly Parton. And I hope we can squash the beef, here. And I don't want to be forced to call in again, but I will if I have to. All right, everyone. Have a good day, and thanks for listening.
All right. I'd like to address a couple of things here.
Oh, boy.
First things first. First thing right out of the gate. One time, Leonard Cohen said that John Bon Jovi's version of Hallelujah is the best version he's ever heard. And I'm telling you, there's no way that's true. There's no way that's true. Who
paid him?
Exactly. Right? So with, our patron saint Dolly, I'm sure she may have been quoted as saying that, but I sincerely doubt that that's a fact. And my whole argument is Leonard Cohen and Bon Jovi. There's no way Leonard Cohen thinks that the best version of Hallelujah is by Bon Jovi. There's just no way. Second of all, I don't care. Anybody on earth is welcome to be a fan of Miley Cyrus. That's fine by me. I don't even dislike Miley Cyrus. It's her. Carrie Underwood's the same way for me. Their voices, both of them, their voice is just great on me for some reason. Like The Climb, I love that song, but I don't like Miley Cyrus's voice. You know what I mean? So like you can love her all you want to. No skin off my back. You know, I don't even dislike her really. I just the sound of her voice like literally hurts my ears. And there's like
she sounds like she's singing with her nose plugged.
Yeah, I could hear that. And I'm glad you piped up on that, Michelle, because I'm going to divert this whole thing to you now. The beef, the quote unquote, the beef that started with this show and Seth goes back to your extreme dislike of Beyonce.
I don't recall that.
I want to be clear. And I guess, you know how when you call in for a customer service thing, they go, hey, I just want to let you know that this is being recorded for quality purposes. You know, is that okay with you? And then you consent to it. You do know that every single time that you and I have sat down to do the show that I've recorded it and it exists, right?
I did not consent to that. You never once asked me at the beginning of the show if I consent.
Yeah, damn it. You know what? That's my bad. But this is you. This is still you. You and Kyle are the ones who went on this show about how you don't like Beyonce. But Beyonce is fine with me.
I will say, and I will say it again, that Beyonce is overrated, and there's nothing that she has put out that I believe is revolutionary. She's just there.
Okay, so again, this is squarely between you and Seth, and my name's Paul, and that's between y'all.
I feel like we're going to get a voicemail next week where he says that you just said what the words that I said. Maybe he's confused. Maybe he thinks that I'm you and you're me.
That very well could be it. Before we move on to the written feedback that we got in, Chris, do you care to put yourself in this argument at all between?
You're going to get the hive and yo coming after me too. See, now we're going to get Seth angry at me too. I kind of fall with Michelle here. I could care less one way. She's just there for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't seek her out, but I don't go out of my way to avoid type situation. So
yeah, that's how I am. She's just there. And then Miley, do you have any thoughts on Miley? Or
Miley,
that was Beyonce, right?
Miley doesn't bother me. I like her music more than just watching her performances. That makes sense. It's like if she comes on the radio, I'll listen to it. I'll actually seek out some of her stuff on like streaming just to listen to it.
Right.
But if she's actually performing on like I don't even watch the VMAs anymore.
No.
But one of those performance shows, I'll rather be like in the other room doing something and just listening because sometimes her performances overshadow.
Yeah.
What I hear.
Yeah. I feel that way about Pink too. Like every time you see Pink,
I was just going to say that sounds like Pink.
Now, if I walked into the living room and said Carrie Underwood, I can't stand her, that's grounds for divorce.
Oh boy.
My wife has seen her probably about 7 times, seen her at the Grand Ole Opry. She's taken me to see her. It was kind of one of those, I'm just going to be a good husband and go.
Right.
But, yeah, that would be grounds for divorce if I said that.
All right. Well, now you're in it. And Seth, again, that's at Dadnarok on Twitter. If you are not already interacting with them, there you go. Moving on. I include sometimes here and again, I include some thoughts from our YouTube channel. And we recently we started a new series on the YouTube channel of instead of doing like all underrated or hidden gems for stuff like 5 songs to start with. Like if someone said to me, I've never listened to Bon Jovi before. What's the first 5 songs you think I should check out to even see if I'm going to be a fan or not? And we did one about Guns N' Roses. And we had a comment that said, you had great choices, not unexpectedly. 5 songs not to start with from Guns N' Roses would also be an interesting video. I'm looking at you, Shackler's Revenge and My World. Which Shackler's Revenge and My World are 2 songs that most GNR fans agree should not exist on this planet. But yes, that would make for a interesting video. For sure. Jamie Porter writes in and says, great episode as always. Congrats to Russ and Lauren. I'm not a Gorillaz guy, but I will have to check out that record when I'm cleaning or otherwise occupied, which was kind of the consensus on the record. The Gorillaz album was, this is good if you're not paying attention to it. Which is
that a glowing endorsement though?
As the big cheerleader of this show who is the one who is always like, well, let's try and find a positive spin. I had a hard time finding a positive spin on that record.
No.
Yeah. So Garrett writes in and says, and he knows what he's doing here, in all caps, simply having a wonderful Christmas time. And I've never threatened violence to one of our listeners before, but let me tell you something. I made clear my opinions on that song. It is, I don't know, Michelle, do you know that is absolutely my least favorite Christmas song in the history of the world?
It's your favorite Christmas song? Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Anthony writes in to us and says, hello, I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. On your recent Gorillaz album review, this is probably the first time that I hate to say I could not get into the band's music, and it wasn't without trying. I gave the album 2 full listens because sometimes new to me music hits differently, but not this time. While it's an album I wouldn't buy, I would still recommend it to others since I do know people that the Gorillaz would be right up their alley. I also checked out your recent review of Pink Floyd's The Wall, and I absolutely loved it. I'm a huge fan of concept albums and storytelling music in general. Upon first hearing The Wall back when I was in junior high, it really didn't resonate with me. It took several years before I really got into Pink Floyd's music, but once I did, what a cool rabbit hole it's been. The Wall is best savored when not being preoccupied with anything else, and that's something I even learned from myself when I devoted my full attention to the record. Currently, I have The Wall, Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, and Momentary Lapse of Reason, and The Division Bell. What are the Pink Floyd records that you'd recommend checking out? And I promised Anthony I would reply to that on the show. The very short answer on that is it really depends what your favorites are of what you have now. If you favor more the Dark Side of the Moon and Wish You Were Here, I would tell you to go immediately backwards from there and check out Metal and Obscured by Clouds. If you favor heavily the David Gilmour era, the Momentary Lapse of Reason and Division Bell stuff that you already have, really, there's no place else to go to get more Floyd like that because they only put out the 2 records with Dave at the helm. But I might tell you to check out some very, very early Floyd, like the first and second record, to see if the third direction that they went in, their original direction of pure psychedelic music, might be different enough for you to check out. So right back in after you get a chance to go in either one of those directions and let us know what you like. Moving right along, our Jammy Jams. It's the section where we tell you what we've been listening to and why. I'm going to go first because that's another thing I like to do on the show is forget when I was going to share my own Jammy Jams. This is very simple and to the point for me for Jammy Jams this week. My all-time favorite record and one of my all-time favorite records shared a birthday this past week. On November 30th was the 40-year anniversary of the release of Michael Jackson's Thriller. And then that same day is the 42nd anniversary of the release of Pink Floyd The Wall. So I've just been heavy on both records. There's a lot on Thriller, believe it or not, that I take for granted. Stuff like Baby Be Mine, PYT, which I know is everybody's jam except for me. And
Get Out.
I know. Everybody loves that song but me. And The Lady in My Life, the ballad that closes out the record. So this week I was listening to that album heavily and really taking in like the parts of it that I take for granted a lot. And then I'm sure, Michelle, I don't know if you know this or not. Did you know that I'll never get sick of The Wall?
I've never even heard of it.
Oh, wow. I have a podcast episode you should listen to where we reviewed it. It was fantastic.
I just blacked out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to even play it now, though, because I didn't have your consent when we recorded it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Yeah, exactly. So a bunch of selections from Pink Floyd, The Wall, and Thriller, because they're both 40 and 42 years old, respectively, this week, are what I've been listening to. Chris, what have your Jammy Jams been?
Well, I mean, one of them is an old, oldie but goodie back, the late 90s, early 2000s. I was down in Epcot a few weeks ago. My wife kind of did a getaway from the kids. First time we've ever gotten away. We spent a few days down there, Nice. Yeah, I thought I'd feel a little guilty being in Disney during the holidays, festivals. No, that was all gone.
Yep.
But little to my knowledge, Sugar Ray was playing in Epcot.
That's
and
right.
I was like, either this is going to be great, or it's going to be one of those, okay, I come here just to come here, and they were going to mail it in.
Yeah.
So I sat towards the back. I was like, I want to be able to get up and just leave.
Be able to
go get a funnel cake if I want one.
Slide out the side in case, yeah.
And I was blown away. I mean, Mark McGrath, he brought the energy. I was like, I was enjoying the whole thing. Now, little to my knowledge, my wife sitting next to me really had no clue who they were.
Really?
I was waiting for her to say, who's the Sugar Ray guy?
Even when they did like every morning and I just want to fly. She didn't.
She grew up under a rock in Nashville.
Well, yeah, okay.
She knows like all this country, all this. It's kind of what her parents kind of, were listening to. That's all she listened to until she branched out a little bit later. And actually, a lot of her new stuff she's listened to is because I've kind of said, "Hey, check this out. This is something different." So I've been kind of like dabbling in some of their old stuff, fly, like you're saying. So that was one of them. I was like, once I got that done, I was like, okay, now I got to start listening because it was just like nostalgia flooding back.
Right on.
Another one, much to nobody's surprise, I fell into the Taylor Swift album.
Oh, see, everyone in the world has listened to this record extensively except for me. And I don't even have anything against Taylor Swift. I just haven't listened to the record yet.
I haven't listened to anything from her since she left the country genre. I don't know what cued me to hit play. And I'm sitting at work and I got both my AirPods in, and I'm just I listened all the way through. I'm like, whoa, I'm done already? And I started it over. And there was some songs, it's like there was like I think it's Vigilante. It has like a Lord feel to it.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, I like that. Or there's like a Snow on the Beach. There's a few of them that like really hooked me. And I've always been kind of meh on Taylor Swift. So the fact that this album hooked me as much as it did, I'm like, I was flabbergasted.
That's rad. That's rad. I'm not against listening to it. I just haven't yet. I will tell you that because you said you hadn't listened to much after she left the country genre. I will tell you, in my opinion, the album 1989 that she did is one of the best pop albums I've heard in the past, 30 years. That is a solid pop. I mean, you got to like pop music to like it. It's very poppy. But
now I'm halfway interested to kind of go back and look at other things.
Yeah.
I mean, I would never consider myself. I'm a closet case now.
Are you a Swiftie?
Swift fan. Yeah, am I a Swiftie? Don't let Sean hear this. You'll never hear the end of it. And one last one, and it's because of you guys. It's because of this album review you guys been doing. Mm-hmm. Matt Mason. Bank on the Funeral. That between the Swift album and this one here, those two are like in constant rotation.
That Bank on the Funeral is so good.
And I like the stripped down version.
So much better.
Yes. I never thought I'd say that because I like the production of the original.
Yeah.
When you guys first went, reviewed it, I was like, I like this. But then I found the stripped down version. I'm like, you know what? That's the one I kind of default to.
I'm not being funny when I say this. I think I remember this. Michelle, like 2 days after we recorded that episode, weren't you like, oh, I fucked up. We should have reviewed the stripped version.
I think that was Kyle's pick. But yes.
But something along those lines.
He wanted to pick the stripped down version, but it's kind of like, I don't know, picking just you need to hear the original to, I feel like, appreciate the stripped down version. But
it's two completely different sounds.
It's completely different.
The songs even feel different.
Yeah, and it's not like he just took the music out or something. Like he re-recorded the whole thing. Like he sings it with different feeling in the stripped down version.
That's cool.
I would recommend that to anybody. And I would recommend that you check out his newest album. I like it. Not as much. But
I think I did
it.
because you recommended it, and I actually stopped your show, went and listened to it, and then came back.
Yeah, it's not as good as Bank on a Funeral, but it's right up there. So
that's rad. So Sugar Ray, Matt Mason, and little known indie artist Taylor Swift. We do a playlist every Monday with all the songs from that we discuss on the show. So we'll have Michelle put some of her stuff on there because I hear Taylor Swift is having a hard time like getting streams and attention. So we'll do our part to help her out.
She's had a hard time selling concert tickets, I heard.
Yeah. That's a bummer. Yeah, they put that tour on sale. Just nobody
It's on Groupon now.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be about a bitch if the tickets all ended up on Groupon somehow? So without further ado, Michelle, grace us with your jammy jam.
So I've been on a 2000s pop punk kick this week.
You'll excuse me while I'm super surprised. I
so
like how you qualify it as this week. Like this is just a this week thing.
So like it's been heavy rotation this week. Lots of Fall Out Boy. There's some Blink-182. There's some Avril Lavigne in there. There's definitely Good Charlotte, Yellow Card. There's just Taking Back Sunday. There's just so much on there that I've been jamming to this week. I can't get enough. I feel like I fall in love with pop punk all over again, and then I'll listen to it for too long, and then I'll be like, ugh, like this, stop.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like high school, and I just like need to get out of it, but I'm in my love stage right now. So.
Right on. I don't want to go too deep into this, but and I say this not to be funny, Michelle, you're very aware of this. I have tried over time to stop myself from interjecting myself into music conversations that strangers are having in public, especially when I disagree with them. Mm-hmm. We were at the bar the other day and I overheard,
What?
I know. Can you believe it? We were at the bar and I overheard a person say to someone else, not ironically, not joking. Yeah, but Fall Out Boy didn't have any hits though. And like, I'm not crazy. That's wrong, right? Fall Out Boy had like massive hits. Yes.
I think even if I asked my mom would know.
Okay.
Song.
I want you to know that I successfully stopped myself from interjecting myself into that conversation, but the whole time I just kept being like, I'm not
I feel like you
I'm
can
not crazy.
count 5. You can count 5 of them on.
I know. Thanks for the memories and Sugar We're Going Down. I know for sure, but I'm sure there's others that were huge hits that I can't. Which one? What?
Thanks for the memory.
Yeah. That's a good one, Michelle.
It is a good one. I just passed one. Dance Dance.
Yeah.
I feel
They
like
have,
that was.
but to say they didn't have any though, it's like, did you just skip the whole 2000 to 2009 era of music? Because they were big that whole time.
Yeah, they were really big. I feel like they were big enough to play outside of like St. Andrews. So I feel like that's pretty big.
For sure. They did arena tours and stuff. Yeah.
They did?
Yes, absolutely. So anyways,
I did not go to that.
We don't I need to get too deep into it. I just wanted to make sure that like, and that hasn't crossed my mind since it happened. But when you mentioned that, I was like, oh, I want to make sure I'm right on this, that they did in fact have big hits.
Pulling yourself out of the conversations, what I'm doing right now with soccer.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying not to be that guy because I'm a big soccer fan. The World Cup going on. I hear something stupid. I'm like, oh, don't turn around. Don't do it.
Yep.
We already got a bad reputation as is.
Yeah. It's just better not to, like coming from experience, it's just better not to interject yourself in that stuff. Those were our Jammy Jams and a bit of the feedback that you had for us. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we are going to have fun discussing how music has changed for us since becoming parents. So we're going to go through how long we've been parents and the type of music we used to listen to, what we listen to now, so on and so forth. It's going to be fun. You're listening to the Infectious Groove podcast on the Odd Pods Media Network.
Hey, it's Dalton.
I'm Tony.
And I'm Sam.
We want to tell you about Big Ten Plus 4.
Do you want to hear football talk that doesn't only talk about the SEC?
Are you tired of always hearing about how the Big Ten doesn't perform in the Big Dance?
Then we're the show for you.
You can catch us each week live on the ASAP network.
And later that day on Odd Pods Media, we bring you college sports with a Big Ten flavor.
Big Ten Plus 4.
College sports with Midwest perspective,
blue collar, and blue blood.
Hey, you there. We've got a question for you. Are you tired of clickbait stories and the loudest voices driving discussions in culture and entertainment?
If so, I'm Dylan.
I'm Kendall.
And I'm Corey. And we host the podcast From the Middle. We're middle-class guys living in the middle of America, in the middle chapters of our lives with points of view somewhere in the middle.
We take a more reasonable and centrist approach in our discussions covering genres like comedy, culture, entertainment, and interviews with really interesting folks like business owners, comic creators, doctors, news anchors, New York Times best-selling illustrators, professional stand-up comics, and more. We really value a relaxed and conversational podcast, one that we hope is so fun and laid back, you'll forget you're not actually hanging out with us.
So search at From the Mid Pod, just like it sounds, or check us out everywhere you can find podcasts.
Welcome back. It's Russ and Michelle of the Infectious Groove podcast. And we have with us this week, Chris from the Dadnarok YouTube channel. If you want to check out a lot of trailer info and TV reviews, movie reviews, and that type of thing, go check out
stuff.
Yeah, all current pop culture stuff. Go check out the Dadnarok YouTube channel. And Chris is with us on this episode because he is a parent, as am I, as Michelle, is Michelle. And our listening habits, I absolutely have to assume, have changed over time since becoming a parent. So I figured this would be a fun discussion to have. So when we get into things, I thought it would be fun to at least talk about our tenure and how many kids we have and so on. And I've mentioned it many, many times on the show. I have the one child who is coming up on 17 now. So that's how long I've been a parent. And I've only had the one. I haven't had, I know that
you know of.
That I'm aware of. Yes. That I've been legally contacted about. Yes. That's the only, I've seen some other people that claim to be kids and whatnot, but It's just the resemblance just isn't there. Either that or I'll disown him on music taste. I'm like, well, that can't
There
be
you go.
my kid. Yeah.
I can hear that.
Yeah. But I do know that like with step parenting and whatnot, that's a whole other ball of wax. So I think this will be a unique discussion because there's sides of it that I haven't seen. Plus, I only have the one kid. There's been many famous comedians have made jokes about how like if you're a parent of one kid, that it doesn't count because you don't have to deal with like, I'm not touching you and stuff like that. You know, and if you come home and something's broken, you know who did it. You know, like you don't have to worry about wondering who did it and so on. So, but I still think I'll have a pretty unique perspective. As far as you go, Chris, where are you at in your parenting journey?
I have a 9-year-old, soon to be 10 here in February, and then a daughter who is 6. So I've got a boy and a girl. Just like you're saying, they fight, don't look at me. They're at that point now where if they're in the same room sometimes, it's a nuclear bomb going off.
Yeah.
But if I wrestle with one of them and I hit one the wrong way, they'll both turn on me in a heartbeat.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Now, while I only have the one child, I am the youngest of 3. Well, yeah, the youngest of 3 brothers. And when we were growing up, it was the same thing. We were always at odds. But if somebody gave one of us the business, like you see people unite faster than you've ever seen that type of thing happen. You know, so yeah, I totally know what you mean on that. Michelle, you started your parenting journey during the course of this show. What is your parenting journey looking like?
I have a 18-month-old and I have half of a 10-year-old. He's with us
Which
half the time. The good half.
It's been 18 months.
Yes.
Wow.
She'll be a year and a half officially on the 16th of December.
Not to get you too mushy on the show, Michelle, but you recently told me via text that she said what to you?
I love you.
Oh, yep, she did. And that is the only comment Michelle would like to make on it because she doesn't want to get
That's it.
emotional on the show. So you have a boy and a girl. And
a boy and a girl. And
a half of a boy.
Half of a boy. So that's Kyle's son, who's 10 and just turned 10. And he is here about half the time. And one full-time, one part-time kid.
So what's interesting about that to me, and this is one of the reasons why I included this next question in it, is because I feel like, at least for Chris and I, we're definitely at the stage where you would not listen to certain things with your kid in the room. And Michelle, we'll come around to you and say, well, actually, you know what? We'll go ahead and start with you on this. So going by with just Zoe, because she's 18 months, is there anything now that you feel she's perceptive enough that you're like, maybe not Eminem's second album in front of her? Or do you think that she doesn't even register it yet?
I don't think she registers it yet. And it doesn't matter what I do because Kyle just plays rap around her all the time. And he doesn't care.
Right. And I was going to say that too. I didn't feel it was my business to say, but since you said it, I'll back you up on that. Like, I feel like Kyle will just play whatever he wants to play in front of Beckett or whoever's kids. not just his.
I mean, there's a line. There's definitely a line, but regular run of the mill stuff, he's not timid to, especially now Beckett's old enough that if it's just swear words, like he's heard them all, he knows them, not to repeat them. It's
right.
more the content of the song. So like that's something different where I think we also disagree a little bit, but
ooh, tell us more.
Oh no, I just think that he thinks that it's just rapping it. He's not listening anyways, because usually he's got his headphones in or whatever.
Right.
And he's just not listening. And I'm just like, but what if he hears it? You know, like sort of thing. So I
it's
think
taken more than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, are you talking specific? You're not talking about like quote unquote bad words or swear words. You're talking about the context of the song, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I can't even think of an example right now. But,
well, let me give you an example. So the songs Either Kill You or Kim from Eminem's second record. Those are songs that Zach got to a certain age and I was like, ooh, that will never be played in front of him ever. No, right?
Yeah, for sure. Or it's not even a new song, but like I was thinking of Pop That Pussy. Like that's probably not an okay song.
Just to be clear, you're worried about the context.
Yes.
You would rather your child get to an age where you can explain the full nuance?
No, I'm saying it's probably too graphic, like for him right now.
At all, ever.
I mean, like he's going to be our age someday, right?
Yeah. Well, and see, no, and you, in a joking way, you brought up kind of a point of like, okay, let me say this, like, Darling Nikki, I don't think I would ever come to a point where I would sit down with my kid and be like, okay, here's what Prince was talking about in that song. Right. But like, let me focus in on the real bad one, like Kim by Eminem. I have had that conversation with my son now because he's old enough where I'm like, okay, here's the hows and whys behind this song, and this is why it's art. And if you notice, she's still alive in real life. Like we don't, like we can use this as therapy and get our feelings out on things without taking these actions or doing these things, right? And then that allowed me to explain a song like Who Knew by Eminem to him, and be like, this because people don't have the conversations with you that I'm having. And he fully understood that whole side of things,
Yeah.
Now I have not approached Pop That Pussy with him though.
You should. That's a gateway drug. I think that at some point they are going to be mature enough, or they're just going to hear it, and you just need. I mean, maybe not Eminem if they're not into that. I feel like that's our generation, but there's going to be stuff that they're into that they're going to hear it no matter how hard you try for them not to. And so just to explain that, like you did. But I will tell you that the thing that I am most aware of is that I drive him to school. And I usually listen to NPR, and I feel like there's a lot of stuff on NPR that I'm like, I don't know if this is appropriate. Like, they were talking about the shooting at the club,
right?
In Colorado, and I was like, I don't like this is actually happening. So like, is this? And I just turned it off and like panicked, and I was like, I don't know. But I remember like when I was a kid, like the news was always on, but like I feel like that was more of a panic moment that I had.
I've had the same thing happen. Like we're in the living room and this world news is on at 7 o'clock, whatever channel you're on.
Yeah.
And they're talking about something, and my 6-year-old daughter is sitting in the living room. I look at my wife and say, I'm changing this. I don't want her.
Yeah.
We're talking about something that happened in a school, and they're already doing their drills. And like, I don't need to expose her to any more of this.
Yeah. I feel like that is what I've been more concerned about lately, but not that I don't listen to like Eminem or whatever like that, but it's not like something that I have on all the time. And if there's a song, that has the F word in it, like I don't change the station real quick.
Right. You know what I miss, and this is, I'm not even trying to single out rap. These are just examples I can think of, is like when the first Chronic came out, and I think 2001 was the same way as well. They would not just do censored versions, because I think censored versions especially of rap songs is a joke, right? Yeah. Because a child knows what, if your one stanza ends in click and then the rapper says suck my and there's a blank, they know what rhymes with click. You know what I mean? But if you can listen to, there were alternate versions of records that came out. Like if there's a censored version of the Chronic where Nothing But a G Thing has full verses that are different. Like they wrote different verses for it. So they didn't just skip black out the one word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like you could listen to the full song. The reason why that sticks with me is because when I first heard that song, the only exposure I had to it was on MTV constantly. And so when I finally heard the album, The Chronic, I was totally rapping to the wrong song. You know what I mean? Like I was like, this is not the right words at all. And I was like, oh no, they said a gun and everything. Holy crap. So Chris, where are you at with that? What can you think of that you were like, oh no, I can't listen to that with the kids in the car anymore?
I was in a weird spot when I had Zach. I mean, literally, I was sports talk radio. I was at a point where I listened to all the music that I grew up with, and I beat it in my head so much, I stopped listening to it. Like Disturbed, Metallica, all Rob Zombie, all those groups that I loved when I was in high school. So I was like, I don't know if I was in a detox mode when Zach came around, but it was. When I started wanting to listen to it again, I was conscious. I was like, you know what? I don't, kind of same things Michelle was saying. It was more, not so much the language and the music, but like, do I want him listening to one and trying to figure out what one really means, or then searching it out, on YouTube, because he's grown up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And finding that video.
Yeah. Oh my Lord. Yeah.
So it's been more of that, and then just kind of slowly trickling back into things. Like he's gotten older. He does not have his mother's taste in music. Mm-hmm. He has music all over the map, which I take credit for, because I've been trying to, hey, try this, try that. You like Mom's Country, great. But if you want to try, Metallica or, anything else, any poppy, what's happening right now. I called him out last night. I had a fun time embarrassing my almost 10-year-old son. It was Meghan Trainor's. What is it? Made You Look. He's like, oh, I know that song. I said, dude, how do you know that song? His mom's sitting on the couch. And he's like, that's all over TikTok and YouTube Shorts. I said, really? Why do you like that song so much? So there isn't a dance with that, is there, that the girls do on there? Oh, he turned beet red. Oh, it was the best thing I've ever done.
That's
so far.
rad. along those lines, when you mentioned like Rob Zombie or White Zombie, with Rob Zombie or White Zombie, lyrically, I mean, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but Rob Zombie and White Zombie is all like, death and witches, like that. There's like not a lot. It's like Dio lyrics, you know what I mean? Like it's all like supernatural and stuff. With White Zombie and Rob Zombie, you got to watch for your kids hearing the sound effects that are in those songs. There is always a woman enjoying herself in some way
she's just happy.
Yeah. She's just happy to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hear what you mean about like when you're gonna dip back into something and being like even Appetite for Destruction is one of those records where like when I started listening to that again when my kid got to a certain age, I was like, you take a song like Mr. Brownstone. I don't really want my kid Googling to find out that song's about heroin. You know what I mean? Like the lyrics don't mean anything to someone who doesn't know anything about it. But if you Google it real quick, you're going to find out that what he's actually talking about is heroin addiction. It's like, well, I don't want my kid knowing about that.
I would be more impressed that my kid was looking up song lyrics to find out what they mean.
You'd be impressed if anybody Googled anything for themselves, Michelle. So
do other people Google things?
People do go, you know what? You have a friend who Googles everything for you instead of you doing it yourself.
Do you find things on
my
YouTube?
Own personal Google.
Yeah,
YouTubes?
YouTubes?
No, Michelle won't go anywhere near YouTube. I recommended an interview to her today, and she was going to watch it until she found out it was 20 minutes long. Oh, my Lord.
That's like 20 TikToks.
I hadn't thought of it that way. That's my bad. But yeah, what you said about that one video too, like, that even goes back to when I was a kid. I'm sure a lot of people of my age went through the same thing where like, you can't watch MTV in the house. But like my parents were more concerned with the Wine, Women, and Song that was happening on MTV that they didn't want us sing, like, which would I guess be like the equivalent to the TikTok dances now, right? But what you said about one, I didn't even think about that. I don't want my kid watching that video at 20 years old, let alone 10.
Yeah, that video is messed up.
Yeah, Michelle, I don't know. In all seriousness, I know you're not a huge Metallica person, but the lyric of that song is about a person who is a war veteran, but he's laying in bed, no arms, no legs, can't speak, basically can't communicate with the outside world, and he's just laying there hoping someone will put him to death.
Yeah, he's just still conscious. That's all he is.
And the video has visuals that very much explain the lyrics, and it's like, I don't want my kid seeing that.
That's sad.
We should do a full album review of the album Injustice for All just to get your take. Every song will be like, Michelle's like, that's sad too.
See,
was this emo? No.
Yeah.
See, that stuff doesn't, I mean, it's sad, and I don't know, maybe I am too inexperienced, but like I wouldn't purposely show it to them, but I guess I haven't seen it either, but like that's not what I'm actively avoiding.
But I'm saying if you're saying you don't want to leave, you're not sure if you're going to leave NPR on because they're talking about bad things in the world. You don't want them seeing that.
That's like true stories.
You don't think that there's veterans who have gone through maybe what that experience is?
Like I said, I cannot speak to this video because I haven't seen it.
Right.
I
Yeah.
do believe
and you never will because that song is over 7 minutes long.
Yeah, that's a long one.
I'm sorry. It's how many minutes?
The song is over 7 minutes long. Yeah.
You're already giving me a half an hour worth of homework.
Chris, you might know this better than me. Isn't the opening track on that album is like near 9 minutes, isn't it?
It's something down that range. Yeah.
I know that.
I love all that. As much as I think Michelle hates that stuff.
Yeah.
I prefer just hearing them play. It's like if they'll just play for like 4 minutes and then have 2 minutes of just lyrics, I'm good.
Yeah.
I love hearing that because you don't hear that anymore.
Somebody recently on Twitter interacted with me and accused me of not liking something because it was an album that was longer than 38 minutes. And I was like, you have your hosts mixed up.
I'm the wrong person.
See, everyone blames you for everything. I did nothing wrong.
Yeah, you show up every 2 weeks, just say some things, never have any accountability. And it's great. The weeks where you're not here, the feedback is loaded with people being like, and another thing I wanted to tell Michelle. You're never here to hear it.
You should save it for when I'm back.
So this one, Michelle, you might not have an answer for just yet, but maybe go with like other people's kids or something. I don't know. Because I don't believe Zoe has recommended any tunes to you yet, but who am I to say? Chris, is there anything you listen to specifically because of your kids? Like your kids were listening to something nonstop, or they got into an artist that you were like, I would have never given that a chance, but now you dig it because your kids were into it.
It's not so much like a group. Like they started loving all the Kids Bop songs.
Right on.
I'm like, you know what? if you're going to like these versions, that's fine. And I'll make a playlist and I'll kind of sprinkle in, some of the real versions, like Lady Gaga and Poker Face. They love that.
The Kids Bop version, or
Kids Bop version.
Okay.
And then I haven't actually started sprinkling little those in there yet, because I'm like, I don't know how deep I want to get into that, because some of those are kind of.
Well, you bring up an interesting point too. What if they like the Kids Bop version, and then you put the real version on there, and you're like, this song is not at all about what the Kid Bop were singing about, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, what if it's a completely different? Because I have to assume they changed the lyrics on Kids Bop stuff I
mean, they love like Miley Cyrus's Party in the USA. That's one of I'll sit in the car and they Party in USA Day, and I'm like, oh Christ. So I listen to that thing and replay. There was one period of time, every time I sat in my car, for some reason my phone just defaulted to it. I'm like, oh man. Even when they weren't in the car, that was the first thing that came on, which started getting really sickening, to be honest.
You know what I find too, outside of Kids Bop, in this, I'm very serious when I say this. I found when my kid was growing up, if there was a song that it was questionable to play in front of him, if Weird Al had a version of it, I would just play that. So like Gangster's Paradise, or I don't know. Well, what made me think of Weird Al was he has Party in the CIA, which is hilarious. Like
my daughter loved the Hamilton polka.
Oh, for sure.
She loved the Hamilton polka, which I love the actual show and everything. I've seen it live.
Yeah. What he
the
does.
Fact that she liked that. Yeah.
What he does in the Hamilton polka is ridiculous. It's an insane show of talent. But one example I can think of, Blurred Lines. Like kids of a certain age, I wouldn't want listening to the message in that song, right? But you could play Word Crimes for them by Weird Al, and they would get the same vibe of the song and a little education while they're at it. As far as I go, I swear this is true. There's only one artist I can think of that I never wanted to give the time of day for whatever reason, until my son got heavily into them, to the point where I finally bought one of their records on vinyl, just to have it for when he was at the house, and be like, oh, look, and I have that record for you, and then I listened to it and was like, Jesus, this isn't, what was my problem? This isn't bad. Is Panic at the Disco.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I wanted nothing to do with Panic at the Disco. And it's probably just because Michelle liked it or something along those lines. But I just didn't want anything to do with them. And my son got super duper. Is it Brandon Urie? Michelle, is that the...
Yes.
Okay. Zach thinks he's the greatest thing that's ever happened. And well, I'm just telling you what my son said.
Sorry, Zach.
Yeah, just tell Zach it's all. Don't worry. Just tell Zach it's awful. And then when he listens to the show, he'll just tell me I said it was awful. So don't worry about it.
No, I've heard that he's not a good dude in real life.
Oh, no, I've heard that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying.
But many of the people that we like are not good dudes in real life.
I didn't say they were. I was just saying he's not somebody to be worshipped.
No, yeah. But my son just thought he was great. And I was just like, I don't think I want anything to do with this. And I blind bought a record. And now I'm not the world's biggest fan or anything, but I definitely listened to that act because of my son and liked it way more. Now, my son also likes a lot of mumble rap, and nope. That's not happening. There's nothing that will get me into mumble rap ever.
Did he ever do any of the Disney shows when he was younger, the High School Musicals or any of that kind of got you listening to any of that? Or
no, he did what a lot of kids do, where he watched, what you're talking about, singling in on one Disney thing and watching it over and over. But it was mostly the classics, like Lion King, Aladdin, that type of stuff that he just watched over and over and over. So no, he didn't get into much any of that.
So right now, Disney's got it on lock again, and they got something called Zombies, and both my kids love all three of those movies, and to the point where my daughter goes to bed to them. It's like she has a whole Disney playlist, and we start at those. And there's a few of them I'm like, that's not terrible. Yeah. I can't believe I'm thinking that when I'm listening, I'm like, I can actually tolerate this.
Yeah.
It feels like, can you put Zombies on in the car? Like the third one that came out, I was like, I can actually listen to this without gouging my eyes out. It's actually doable.
That's rad. I like that, and it's like their movies too. Disney very much has a certain percentage of their movie where they're not adult jokes, but they're jokes aimed at adults, to where when you watch it enough, you're not bored to tears or whatever. You're like, oh yeah, there's that one joke my kid doesn't get yet or whatever, Michelle, has Zoe recommended anything to you yet? And
yeah, she likes a lot of Cocomelon. A lot of Miss Rachel songs.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. That now, and I mean this is a sincere question. So the stuff that you have to watch when you have a sub 2-year-old, you have to watch the same things a lot. This is a sincere question. Are you finding yourself actually liking some of the stuff, or do you Okay, it's just repetition, and you're like, oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, we do sing it in our house now, but not because we like it.
And by we, you mean you.
No, Kyle sings it too.
Yeah, but we don't like it means you don't like it.
Oh, yeah. No.
And you would think you would. I mean, it's all within your wheelhouse. It's got to be, 30 seconds to a minute and a half long songs?
Yeah.
The episodes are within a half hour?
No. Miss Rachel's are like an hour long.
Oh, no.
Oh, we're pushing it.
I know.
Does she even know? Did you just say that bitch about Miss Rachel?
Yeah, don't tell anybody I said that. Somebody threatened Miss Rachel on TikTok. They sent her a threatening letter, and she read it, or she went on TikTok about it, and all the fucking moms in the mom community are like, "Tell me who did that. Like, I will fucking beat them down."
That's too big of a rabbit hole to go down. Let me just say this:
what you're talking about? That's
for whoever listens to this show. If you listen to this show, you're probably already not a piece of crap, because if you listen to the show for any length of time, if you were a piece of crap, we're probably too positive for you to continue to focus on. But if you listen to this show and you know someone who's the type of person who might have threatened the host of a kids program, please tell them to never do anything stupid like that. Like,
yeah, what could you possibly have to say? Like, just don't watch it. Like, what did she do to you? Like, you don't have to turn it on YouTube. She really does allow me some free time in my day. So I can't really be mad.
That reminds me of the Barney documentary on Peacock that I just watched.
Yeah.
Kill Barney, or whatever it's called. It was fantastic. That just complete sidebar. That just reminded me of that.
I meant to watch that. I like a lot of things.
I was gonna say that's a growing list. What you meant to watch. So Michelle, I guess we'll throw this at you first. The last question I wanted to ask is: so as Zoe grows older, are there current artists you can think of right now where you're like, that's one for sure I wouldn't let her listen to, or I would steer her away from?
I mean, Eminem, probably Nicki Minaj, probably Megan Thee Stallion. And it's not even that I would steer her away from them. I wouldn't be like, that's bad, don't listen to that. But then I'm going to go listen to it because I'm trying not to be a do as I say, not as I do person, but more of a...
Let me know when you start on that.
Okay. I eat my vegetables, okay? She has to eat her vegetables. I'm leading by example.
You've recently started eating eggs because you're telling her to eat eggs.
I am. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's say that's why I did it.
So is it a context thing for you then, or is there like a certain age where you just plan to try to protect her from like language and stuff, or is it mostly context that you would be shielding?
It's mostly context. I swear like a sailor, and I've been trying to stop, but I think she's going to hear a lot worse than the F word probably at home. So
a lot worse than the F word. Okay.
As I was saying that, I was like, I don't even know what's worse than that. But
and in the interest of our show staying on the air, I'd rather you not try and say what you think is worse than the F word.
Fudge.
Right. Yeah. but it's all
more context,
for
and I
you.
just think that people or children are not mentally equipped to understand a lot of what the songs are about, and you have to be of a certain age to even begin to dive into that. So like, I mean, I could be eating my words. I try not to say what I'm going to do in the future as a parent because I don't want to be that guy. But I mean, if she catches me listening to Eminem in the car, what was that?
I said people just blame me for it anyways.
Yeah. I mean, like if she catches me sneaking listening to Eminem, I'm not going to be like, that wasn't me. I didn't do it. I'm not going to do the Shaggy defense, but
I was literally going to say the same thing. So for me, like current artists, I can't think of anybody. And again, this is because my son is 16 now. I can't think of anybody right now that I would be like, no, don't listen to that. But if I were, if I had a newborn and I was going at this again, I would take a page out of the book. I would take a page out of your book because I feel like the context of things is super, super important. And something you mentioned earlier, and we kind of breezed over the point, is kids are far more observant than we think that they are. And even if a child doesn't see the video for one, the same genre, Megadeth, like a lot of the stuff that Dave Mustaine says is like real world problems, and like, I don't want my kid, it's not even like I'm trying to shield them from knowing those things. It's just, I don't think it's something that should be on their mind at that age. I agree. And like Michelle said, as she eloquently brought up the song, Pop That Pussy, when
I have it on vinyl. I'll have to hide it.
You do. That's something where, again, I would rather be the one to explain to my kid, like, the time and space that type of music is created for. You know what I mean? Like, whether or not never coming to a point where I go, I agree with the messaging in this, or I'm condoning you listening to it, but I'm letting
Bryan
you know that
Adams is meant for a certain time of the day.
yeah, exactly. So having said that, now I feel like this question is best aimed squarely at you, Chris, because you're right in that range where I feel like you audibly probably want to do the helicopter parent thing and be like, no, don't listen to that. Don't listen to that for many reasons, Yeah. So who is it that's out there today that you're like, maybe not yet?
Honestly, I have not. I've taken a complete hands-off kind of approach to this. And that's kind of how I am in general with my kids. I got my son an Apple Watch, and I say, go.
Okay.
I know where he's at. He's within like a quarter-mile radius of my house, but he's out doing his own thing. Took a long time for my wife to get used to that because she kind of wants to know where he is.
Right.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to give him his own freedom. Music-wise, he's got his phone. He's watching TikToks. He's watching YouTube Shorts. I'm on both those as well because I'm putting content on them. Right. I know what's on them. So when he mentions he knows a song, I'm like, just like I did last night.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I kind of caught him on it, and it embarrassed him. And he's getting of that age, too, where I remember as a fourth grader, I started recognizing girls. I'm like, okay.
Right.
So with him, I'm letting him do his own thing.
And I think your approach, not that I'm here to tell anybody's parenting is better than anybody else's, but I feel like that approach is better than making it forbidden fruit, but
if you tell him you can't listen to it, the first thing I'm going to do is go listen to it.
Go listen to it. Yeah. And probably find the worst version of something.
Oh, absolutely.
That's possible. Yeah.
But with my daughter, it's a complete different feeling. And I can basically contribute the movie Trolls with Justin Timberlake and
is Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick, thank you.
Okay.
The second one that came out, the Trolls World Tour, because there's so many songs in there, like Barracuda, Crazy Train, all that she loved.
Yeah.
And I did put together the actual playlist where it was Barracuda was on there, Crazy Train, Ozzy. She gets in the car and she said, Daddy, I want to go to the jungle. And she's talking about, Guns N' Roses. And I'm like, should I be concerned? And I'm like, hell no, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Or like I scattered a few other songs in there and she's like, well, this isn't in the movie. Well, and then I kind of get creative about it. I'm like, oh no, this is Poppy's uncle. And she's listening to Disturbed 10,000 Fists with her fist in the air in the back of the car.
Right.
So I've gotten creative on how to go ahead and say how it's connected to this movie. She's my little rocker.
I feel like that's something this generation has and we've labored the point on the show before about like the selling of song rights and whatnot. Like this is what's happening with the songs when they're sold. They're being like, when I was a kid, you never would have imagined any Ozzy song being in a kid's movie, let alone Crazy Train. Right. And I think that helps. I think you're using that tool exactly as it should be used. And, it allows kids exposure to it and you get to reference it to that because it's going to be a long time before she needs to learn what Crazy Train was written about, or even starts to want to learn to look into it for herself. Yeah. So I think that's a great take. And so really I feel like the big no here, I think we can all agree on is just keep the kids away from Pop That Pussy. Yeah.
Yes.
And
drugs, right?
Well,
I would argue you don't get Trolls the movie without drugs. So
you don't get a good night's sleep without drugs either.
I just want you to both know that this is being recorded.
I do not give my consent. Well, I think this has been a fantastic discussion. This is exactly what I had hoped that it would be. And I think it was very cool that we have like such an age range between us of kids. And actually between all three of us with Chris, I had no idea that you were 82. You look amazing for your age.
You really do.
Yeah.
You sound coherent.
Yeah.
Oh, I can still tie my own shoes. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, the Velcro straps just kind of go over on their own now. Like, come on, But anyways, like I said at the beginning of the program, you do have your own YouTube channel. And if people listen to this and said, boy, I want to hear more of that guy, where are they going to go to YouTube? And when they get there, what are they going to find?
Yeah, just go over to youtube.com/Dadnarok. If you need a nerd fix, you're looking for, someone else's opinion on a popular show it's on right now, more likely we're talking about it. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe button. Just join our community. We're just a bunch of nerds talking nerdy stuff. So We'd love to have you.
And if you're ever on social media, just so you know, it doesn't have to be an argument about everything all the time. You can have nuanced discussions about things and other people's opinions on things. And you will find that on the Dadnarok program. So we are thankful that you made time to come back and hang out with us. And I know I labored this point at the beginning, but we very much appreciate you being a loyal listener of our show and sharing the feedback. And am I wrong? You started the worldwide lie of Michelle's awesome. Am I not wrong?
Yes, that was us. That was some of the most fun I've ever had on Twitter. That was great.
Well, you know,
we had it trending for a minute. I was like, how far can we run this?
I'm going to see if I can get Elon to mark that as misinformation, just so it's not.
Oh, he's not doing that anymore.
Oh, damn it. That's right. So next week on our program, we are going to circle back to a totally epic cover battle. And this one is going to be over the song Dancing in the Moonlight, the original King Harvest version versus the Top Loader cover.
I did not know that was a cover
of the song. Michelle learning stuff about music right here on our own music program. And actually, even though Michelle, next week is an off week for you, you should listen to the King Harvest version of it and let me know what you think, because
you already gave me so much stuff to do. You need to.
I gave you absolutely nothing to do.
I have to watch that thing and I have to listen to the other thing.
So that's what will be happening on our show next week. Thank you so much.
The 7-minute Metallica video and the 20-minute Billie Eilish.
Why not? Just go ahead and check out Bluey too for your daughter.
Like we always say about this
trying
time,
to turn it on.
Without music, life would be a mistake. Bye.
Bye. The Infectious Groove podcast is hosted by Russ Robinson, Kyle Wimple, and Michelle Koselecki. Produced and edited by Russ Robinson. Intro and outro music composed by Chris Kimmel. Recorded with a Rode Podcaster Pro and Rode Pod mics.